this garden, out of almost most of them, had a lot of water, turkey and sandy, right?
The water was about 4 feet.
We had waves in here. Before the power blew out, I went up on my roof and looked down and I literally saw waves in the garden.
All the raised beds have been replaced from just via Grow NYC helped us get back almost immediately. So all the raised beds have new soil in it. So, and just by different remediation processes, everything has been covered. There's no surface in here that hasn't been covered by fresh topsoil or hardscaping. So it's safe again.
How unsafe was it?
We didn't test it. It was a good opportunity to test it, but no one did this. Personally, I thought that there was a residue of sewage, raw sewage, and petroleum products. Also, because once the water resided, this is the lowest part. There was actually a sheen of. Do you agree there was a sheen of petroleum, gasoline, and oil on the top of the water? On the wish list of the Gardens Rising, one of the questions was, what would you like? And this building is owned by Mr. Giordano from Bella Tile, and we're in discussions of possibly trying to use that whole building as a rain harvesting system. There's drains that we could tap into and get just a larger tank. That's kind of one big project right now that within a wish list of possibilities. That's one thing that we would like to do, and it might be viably possible.
So we have an issue with water collection as well, but I'm trying to figure out if we can have something that can be a water collection that works, works with physics of rain. I want it to be able to be something that actually, as the water rushes, we can collect, like that kind of thing. So I don't know, I'm not an expert on it, I can't tell you, I'm just learning bioswales now.
It's again like every other site. It was all concrete, rubble, broken bricks, and anything like carpeting, plumbing. It was just basically rubble from the old building. And it's another garden it's good to see. This is actually the foundation wall from the original building that was here. This right here. The building next door, the landlord, his storm drain that comes from the roof is collapsed. And we've been water harvesting from this roof for the last several years.
So this was once a bus depot in the 80s, from my understanding, and then they cleared that out. Underneath the garden, there's a very thick layer. It's about 4 feet down, maybe 3 feet down. There's a thick layer of plastic and then earth material. And we know that because we use the bokashi method, so we trench down and basically dig down to that lining. So we've been doing some soil remediation activity for a year, a little bit more than a year here. And we're looking to get some soil testing done very soon, actually. So just for the layout of the garden, obviously there's a greenhouse here. I'm pretty sure this was built by the Open Road people. There's a bioswale in the back, a huge bioswale. That back corner that looks like a pit is a bioswale. This was a functioning pond at one point, but it looks like it's going to be filled in. And we actually completed an application for the Manhattan Borough President's Office capital budget to do a lot of work in the garden, including additional rainwater harvesting, more solar panels, getting that solar panel fixed or replaced or whatever. And actually having a lab in this garden. So this is the East Side Community School, and this is their land. This is Department of Education land. This is their garden. There's only been one class using the garden for the last few years, from what I understand. and that has been gradually increasing.
And so Green Thumb Gardens plotted this garden out. This is sort of like what's evolved from that. We kept most of the original structures and like built onto them, and also a lot of the original plantings are still here. Like there were 4 birch trees here at one time. There's only 1 left now.
Got Trust Republic Lands and Council for the Environment helped put the money together to purchase this plot that 4 buildings used to be here. And so it was bulldozed. Like what happened in the neighborhood, was like it was burnt. Buildings were let go and became derelict. And then they crumbled, and then the city came and bulldozed it. It was a battle back then, but then the 11th Street gardeners helped form this, get this started, and the Council of the Environment and Trust Republic Lands helped purchase the land. So we own the land, the garden, as a community garden. And then we've just been developing it ever since.
It's come a long way. We reclaimed the water off the roof down into barrels on the side. We have a gutter with pipes down into there.
They switch the pipe to each barrel as it gets full, and that's like the water that we have until the park turns their water on. Then Sour Park shares their water with us.
We have a very small solar panel which runs this fountain over here. It's a 2-tier fountain. We turn that on in the summertime. We put goldfish in there so there's no mosquito activity in there in the water anyway.
So we have like our worm bin over here where the worms like eat the fermented food waste that we put in here. So we
Where's the worm bin?
Right here.
Right in there.
Yeah. So we have
Yeah, I see him. The red guy.
tons of
Beautiful. So what happens? These get transplanted into the pots?
we sift this. We take it out by hand and sift it into a wheel.
For our water capture thing, Fran started a talk over a year ago with Grow NYC because we wanted to get the patio redone. And then Grow NYC came and they were kind of looking at the shed, which was built over the course of many years and was supposed to be a rainwater capture for the tank there. And it's never quite been hooked up and the pitch isn't quite right. So Grow NYC was going to help us kind of do this combined project. And then Gardens Rising came along and we just kind of put it a little bit on hold to find out, make sure we were going to make the right choices for the future. Just to know also, the garden did used to have a larger water tank. It was located over where the small shed is. We kind of have adopted all the tree pits on 13th Street, like on this side of the street. We plowed them up a few months ago and planted all those New Yorkers for Parks daffodils. So we're trying to, and then we're going to try and get the buildings on the street to really adopt them in a better way and make some signs about curving, stuff like that. So what happens here when it rains, all the plots immediately, it's permeable. People have kind of dug down below their plot line and, kind of made it kind of conducive. But we do get pooling, even when we water the garden, we use the hydrant to fill the tank these days, but we have the hose going. There's a leak in the hose, happens kind of where that bike is up there, and there's just like a huge pool of water that stays for a while, but